Ladies, welcome to the Girlfriends Retreat, a safe place offering an unfiltered community filled with authentic conversations.
And experiences all from two friends' perspectives.
I'm your host, Christina Smith.
And I'm your other host, Dharma Fawcett.
Let's get started with today's episode.
All right, let's jump in.
Hey, Dharma.
Hi, Christina.
Girl, we're back.
We're back. I'm so excited.
I love that we are starting fresh in 2025.
Yes.
We kind of let it go in 2024, but we're here and we
Yeah.
are going to do it. We have so many goals, the
Yeah.
podcast being one of them. I love the idea of the Girlfriend Retreat. I think it could be such a strong community in the future. And I just love that we are committed to bringing it back in 2025. I'm so excited to be here and I'm happy to see you.
Yeah, you too, my friend. I've missed you.
I've missed you, and there's just so much. Keeping it short because we're gonna keep it in like that 30-minute time frame for this episode. We're gonna talk vision board, what we want 2025 to look like, and just we're gonna do a fun Q&A so that anyone who is new here can kind of get to know us. And for our listeners that have been with us, they can just kind of have a fun conversation.
Yes,
How
that's
do you
the
feel about that?
We're creating this girlfriend community.
I love it. Yes. So what's your vision board looking like for 2025, Dharma?
Well, I haven't done it yet, but I have a concept of it. This Friday, we're having a girls' spa and vision board night at my friend's house. So I'm really excited. We're going to have cutouts and just like do an actual vision board. I also like to do mine on Canva. And obviously, the goals I didn't accomplish in 2024 are rolling into 2025 because I don't want to give up on them.
Love that.
I have some added goals of nurturing, like being more of a nurturer. I'm entering my nurturing era versus my masculine hustle era, which I've been in for maybe my whole life. So I've always been nurturing because I care about people. I really genuinely care about my clients, my team. I want to see people win and do well, but I don't really do that at home. So I've been, being this standard wife, loving, nurturing, making sure my husband's taken care of, my son is taken care of, my home is pristine and clean and organized for our mental health. So I'm excited to do more of that while still building my business. I want to bring it to $10,000 a month. I want to be in a dream car. I want to have my dream house. We're freaking going to be living in France. So I'm going to have my
Wait to see that manifest. That's going to be so wild.
You know what's crazy is my vision board for 2019 had an Eiffel Tower on it.
And here we are.
So that's just, and I had a little picture of like a man, a woman, and a child like holding hands. So that manifested. So yeah, that's my 2025 vision board.
You know what's funny is the first time I ever did a vision board was with you, actually. I
Aw.
had never done it. And I want to say it was the year we went to Hawaii. So that was probably like 2019.
That was one of the highlights of my life.
I love, girl, that was a good year. That was a good trip. You being in Hawaii was just chef's kiss. And when we went to see you guys in Hawaii, that is one of my favorite trips. That was such an amazing 2 weeks we spent with you guys. But that was the first year that I had ever done a vision board. And when I got into my spiritual era where I learned about manifestation and how powerful it really is, I've done one ever since. And the funny thing is, for anyone listening that's never done a vision board, it really is a powerful tool that you just look at every day that reminds you of where you want to be, what you want for yourself. And it kind of arranges your brain to see that it could be possible, and you take steps towards it whether you realize it or not because you see it every day. It's just a powerful tool. I like that you mentioned Canva. I don't do that. I should do that, where you still have it on your phone. I know there's a lot of celebrities that talk about having it as their screensaver. I don't know 100% if it was Kevin Hart, but I think it was. And he said, I don't want pictures of my kid or my wife or whoever. I see them every day. He's like, I want my goals to be on my screen so that it reminds me what I'm working towards. And I thought that was such a cool concept because I'm like, yeah, you know what? I should do that. And I like that you just reminded me because I don't do that. But Canva is a good tool to create a vision board.
Well, you
It
just
is.
gave me an idea. I can share my Canva template with you and the listener. So if anybody wants my Canva template, because it's actually formatted to be the screensaver on your phone.
I love that.
Just delete my pictures, put your pictures, and then download it as a picture and then set it as a wallpaper. And there it
And
is.
then bam, there's your template. Okay, we'll save that for our listeners and for me, please. Yes.
Well,
But
I printed it. I also sent it to Staples and I printed it on 11 by 17. And I
that makes it
actually
so
did
easy.
two. I have it in my room on my wall, and it's two 11 by 17 pages, which are pretty big with the pictures. And it's clean and simple. It's not super collagey. So
But you know what? That's a really great, simple, modern way to do it because I've always taken the magazines and cut them out and like done the whole thing or printed them off the printer. And not everybody has time nor the capacity to do that. So I love the template and just getting it off the internet and putting it to what you want. And I will say, every time I've done a vision board, it has manifested. Like the last time I did a vision board, it was 2 years ago. And I wanted a house. I wanted to own my own salon. I had physical fitness on there, just things that were like really important to me. Budgeting, the financial aspect has always been something I'm working on, learning how to elevate that, level up. And my vision board stayed the same for 2 years. I just would take it and I would put it in my bathroom and I would stare at it every day. And the wild thing is we manifested that. We have our 2 houses now in Florida, which is insane. One that we're going to make an Airbnb in a year, but that's currently a rental. And then our dream home, which we have, we're living on a pond, which is so crazy, 3 acres. Like, who are we? But we worked for that. We manifested it, and I officially opened my own salon. So these are such dream come trues, and to see them become a reality, I just for anyone that questions manifestation, I don't want you to. I want you to know that anything is possible, and if you put your energy into it and you see it and you work towards it, it really does become reality. Even it's like a small pebble over time, building a huge foundation. Like, I don't know how that metaphor goes, but it takes time. It's like small steps and they become this big, big thing. So, a vision board is so powerful for that. I was really thinking about mine. I think mine this year is all going to be around health and spirituality. I've put that on the burner as I've been hustling and really working towards a village. I really truly need to figure out how to create a village here in Florida because this is our home, this is where we're staying. And making friendships as an adult is so hard. It's so hard, Dharma. And so that is what I want to pour my energy into this year on my vision board. I just want to figure out how to make a village as an adult. So,
yep. I forgot to mention that. That's for me as well, especially moving to France. Like, what?
girl,
What?
and like, how cool is your village going to be in France? Like, who are you going to meet in France? That's
I
such a
talked
cool
to
idea.
you, but I'm taking French. It'll work out. I'm so
It's,
confident.
it's going to work out. So, yeah, so vision board this year is kind of simple. I just health, spirituality, and making friends. And as an adult, it's so hard to make friends, but I'm going to put myself in situations where I kind of have to commit, like book club. If you know me, you know I love to read. I'm going to start showing up to book club once a month. Um, I want to get back into church. I feel like that's a good way to meet people
Like-minded.
like-minded. And a lot of people are like, well, I go to yoga, I go to the gym, but I feel like that always sets me up for failure because when I go into yoga, I'm there to get that workout in and then leave. If
Yep.
I go to the gym, I 9 times out of 10 have a hat on and I'm like, don't look at me, you
Right.
know? And so I just have to set myself up in realistic expectations.
Mm,
I will communicate at book club.
mm.
Right? Maybe even take a dance class for fun, because at least then you're at dance club, you're like laughing at each other while you're doing dance.
I would
I don't know.
love dance class.
But that is a big thing for me is figuring out what that looks like and how to build a community
Yeah.
in real time.
Yeah, I do feel good about community building. I'll give a quick tip, and that's to have something on your calendar always. So maybe that's a girls' night on Friday, and you just invite the 3 moms that you know. And
I
maybe
like
no
that
one shows up.
actually.
I can't tell you how many events I've hosted. And obviously I host events for my business, but you can have it just for fun. And
That's
nobody
true.
shows up. I've had that happen. But then the next one, 6 people showed up. And then the next, it just starts getting bigger. And even with the yoga class, it can be awkward. But if you have a girls' night scheduled, you talked, hey, I love your top, I love your yoga mat. At the end of the class, I know this is super random, but I'm having a girls' night on Friday. Do you want to come? I'll shoot you my address or something,
That's a
and
good
that
idea.
way you start creating relationships that way. So maybe that's something you can kind of practice.
I do really believe, Dharma, that that's one of your superpowers. I really do believe that. Like you are really good at creating those events and getting people. I am such a recluse when it comes to like doing things outside of work. And I really have to, like you said, I like how you said that always having something on the calendar. I have to commit to always having something on the calendar. I think that'll be, I'm gonna actually put a calendar on my vision board to remember
Yes,
that.
I like that. And nobody shows up, so you have a girls' night by yourself and you watch a romantic movie and you cry.
I like that too, though, because that's self-care.
Self-care, but you schedule it with your husband so then he has the kids or you have a sitter or something so you have the time to have the girls' night. You could also do where you have it where it's a mom's night, so the moms bring the kids and so the kids play while the moms talk and snack on a charcuterie board, like something like
I
that.
like that too. And the kids just like run around and do their own
Yeah,
thing.
you can do both. And so I appreciate you flowing me power. That's my superpower. Maybe I take advantage of the fact that it is easy for me. But you're stepping into me, I'm stepping into you. So
We
like
are, we're switching.
because your superpower is nurturing home systems, organization, clean house. You know what I mean? And like I'm stepping into that so we can feed off each
We
other.
can feed off each other. I like that. And I will say, being a woman, learning that balance of doing both is I feel a lifetime journey. I don't think we're ever gonna have the answers, all of them. And I think it genuinely is a lifetime journey. And accepting that makes it easier for me to know, like, hey, I have work to do here, or I have work to do here. And that really is okay. I feel like we live in a world of highlight reels where everyone looks like they have it together all the time. And that's just not true. Nobody is posting their struggles or what's hard for them. They're only posting genuinely what they're thriving at in that moment. And behind the scenes is messy. And I feel like it's okay to accept that real life is messy and we just don't have it together all the time.
Yeah, and I like that you said that. And I actually, as a social media presence, it's not like I have a gajillion followers, but I try to share my life. And I always share, like, I shared about my miscarriage, but I didn't show you when I was bleeding out in the bathtub. Like, you didn't see that. You didn't see
Right.
me feeling like death on my bed and my husband having to feed me breakfast, lunch, and dinner because I couldn't get out of bed. And I would love to share those moments to keep it real, but I'm not thinking of social media during that time. When I'm
No,
social media, I'm on the other side of it and I can talk to you, but it's not the same. So it's so
right.
true. As much as we don't want it to be a highlight reel, it is.
It is. And
You and
I
I
think
just had an
accepting,
hour and a half conversation about our hardship for the past 3 years. Like,
yes.
but you wouldn't know that from our social media.
No, you wouldn't. And I think accepting that too, I want to vocalize that more. It's like this is my highlight reel and that's okay. This is what I'm choosing to share with you, but you didn't see the sweat, the tears, the grind that goes behind that. And I think vocalizing that more, that life is messy for all of us is so important. And that's one of my 2025s is I will continue to post my highlight reel because that's what we like to do. We like to share those highlights but also just to be more real in the sense that, hey, it's messy back here.
And maybe
We're,
sharing more how I got to the success. As
yes.
maybe share a success and then a series of posts of what it took to get there.
And I have seen more influencers doing that lately, and I really do like that. Like there's a celebrity I follow, and she had posted a show that she is gonna be in coming up here soon. I don't know when. But she lives in California. So at the very beginning of the post was like the show. And then in the caption, she said, hey, listen, this is my job. I'm sharing this because it's just what I like to do. But also, California is going through these wildfires. It's messy. We're all scared over here. And this is what I'm really dealing with. And I loved how she incorporated both. I think it's beautiful that people are starting to be more aware.
Right.
It's not a highlight all the time.
Right. Yeah, I like it. I'm hopeful for humanity.
I am too. I really am. On the wildfire thing, I saw a post actually about it was firefighters and they had taken the time to get albums out of someone's burning house and like a grandfather clock that's probably an heirloom. And I thought how beautiful, like that is humanity. Like those things you cannot get back. Someone took the time to
Yep.
get. They didn't let it burn. And that is so beautiful.
I think people are good and I get emotional. I do still have post like miscarriage hormones going on.
Yes, yes, girl.
But yeah, I believe people are basically good. And it's really, I've been waking up with like nightmares about fires and how would I get out of my house and how do I get my son out of the house and what would I do? And just been like in a little bit of a fear mindset with everything. But we have to go back to the good behind
We
it,
have to.
good people that are rising above the chaos.
It's so corny and I learned it in the army, but I think they had this mantra because so many soldiers experience so much negativity naturally, but it was hunt the good stuff. And when I find myself being negative, I go back to that mantra of hunt the good
Yep.
stuff. Like what is good right now? What is good? What is good? I had a client tell me recently, when she's enjoying a moment, she'll say to the universe, more of this. And it's the same premise. It's like more of this. Maybe your child is playing in the yard. Maybe you're listening to a good song. Maybe someone's cooking food and it's good. More of this. Like, I love that because it's simple. It's just a moment to take appreciation for what is good because it's so easy to get wrapped up in what is not.
So true. And tying it back to the vision board, that's what a vision board does. It gives you an opportunity to put your attention on what you want. And I believe with every fiber of my being, you get what you put your attention on, whether that's positive or negative. So if you're putting your attention on negative, you're going to get more negative. If you put your attention on positive survival aspects, you're going to get more of that. And that's what a vision board is. You're putting your attention on the what you want.
I love it. It's
It'll
perfect.
manifest. So then
So,
the next question, is it my turn?
oh, wait, I was about to say that. So, for our listeners that are new here, last year, Dharma and I started the year off with a Q&A, and we want to do that this year. It's just a fun way for you guys to get to know us. And for the people that have stayed with us, for our listeners, we appreciate you. Just a fun way to start the year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's do it. So, I'll start, Dharma. I'll
Yeah.
ask you the first question. How do you deal with stress, specifically now when the world is kind of a mess, which is kind of what we were just
Talk
talking
about.
about?
How do I deal with stress? So I deal with stress by depending on the stress level. Like, is it stress where my toddler is talking and I'm trying to talk and he wants my attention? That's one level of stress. And then there's like, I don't know, you're getting divorced stress and like there's
The heavy, heavy stress.
yeah. So it depends on the stress, but I usually just survive the moment, whether that moment is 5 minutes or 3 months or a year. You're just like in survival mode, getting through it. I call it coping. Like you're just coping. You're just doing the best you can in the moment with what you got. You're not really organized. You're just coping. But there's always a moment of break or a moment of, you have some moment where you can organize. Does that make sense? And so then,
Yeah, for me, it's like you're drifting and then you can finally breathe. It's the same concept.
so in those breathing moments, I organize to try to set myself up so that that stress doesn't repeat itself.
I like that.
So that's kind of like the long-term strategic way that I handle stress. But there's so many other aspects of like being surrounded by positivity, positive people, getting rid of negative people in your life. I think that's the number one source of stress. You
Yes.
realize that having that little person in your ear, you have to get rid of negativity in your life, and that includes the news. So good, we heard about the fire. Now I'm not going to go and research 3 hours about the fire.
No,
It's already keeping me up at night. You
I
know
already
what?
know it's there.
There, it's happened. Let me donate some money to the recovery efforts and move on. Unfortunately, as bad as that sounds, but
Oh, it's so true. You have to. You have to take yourself out of what that stressor is.
And that's how I deal with stress. And there's little things, you know, like I'm like rolling out my eyes with my eye cream to like help me enjoy that little moment. And that's a little stress reliever. I think getting really good sleep is very important to deal with stress, and having the little self-care habits, the little shower, the de-stress shower, the de-stress facial, doing your nails, and taking care of yourself wellness wise.
You know what I was reading? I just read recently that sleep is so crucial to a long life because it's like how you take care of your brain. And at the end of the day, we really are like a plant. Like we have to water us, we have to give ourselves food, we have to sleep.
Right.
Like all of those things naturally take down stress because you have more energy to get through the day.
Yep. And I heard Sean sent me a reel because he's know I'm all like hippie about health and stuff. And it was like this guy who's like struggled with anxiety for 30 years. And then he got on a vitamin D regimen where he was taking a certain amount of vitamin D every day, along with a vitamin, I think it's vitamin C, like you have to take them together. And his anxiety went away.
It's amazing.
And that made me think of you, because vitamin D is literally what a plant needs to survive.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
we spend too much time indoors. Like how much of our stress is just caused by this?
Yes. Yeah. That's on my vision board too. Like movement. Move my body 20 minutes a day. Get out of the house. Get
That's
out of like just move. But
yeah.
anyway, I could
Yeah.
go on.
I know.
So the next question for me is what's a favorite memory that brings you joy?
Mhm.
And
So
I think,
that's for you. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, and I think dancing with my husband is something I always reflect on.
Aw.
When we lived in Tennessee and we would go out to, what was that place we would go out to all the time?
Electric cowboy.
The Electric Cowboy.
Tennessee.
I love those nights at the Electric Cowboy, just being silly and dancing. And when I'm feeling heavy, sometimes I'll just think about us on the dance floor there, having the time of our life, just being so silly. I think day to day, we're just not silly. And sometimes it's nice to remember that we can be silly, like, and it brings me joy.
Serious. Life is not that serious. Like, let's chill out and enjoy it and have fun and be silly. And I
And
love that
be,
kids bring that to our lives. Kids
yes.
bring the silliness, the fun, and you can like loosen up for a little bit.
Do you know, I was listening to Harry Styles last week on Pandora. I still love Pandora. And this song came on. I still love Pandora. I'm a Pandora person. I can't, my millennial self cannot give up Pandora. But Milo came into the room, my toddler, and started dancing. And we just started dancing. And that also brought me joy. So, anyway,
Love
dancing brings me joy.
That's a good
The
one.
next question is, what job or project have you worked on that you feel has taught you the most about yourself?
Wow.
That's a hard one.
It is, but I actually had something come immediately. But then I wondered, because it's not a job or a project, but
What was it?
this last 2 to 3 years have really humbled me. And I think that's what's bringing me into my nurture era, because I lost my dad. I think we're coming on 3 years, which I cannot believe.
Wow.
I know. I had my son. Okay, so first I had my son becoming a mom. Nothing can prepare you for it. You
Nothing.
jump in with the sharks and you swim. I lost my dad. That was horrific. Then Sean and I got really, really on the rocks, which when you're about to get separated and about to talk about divorce, it's been going on for years. So it had been going on for years. And then we got fixed as a couple, got pregnant, super sick during that, and then I had a miscarriage. All of that within the environment of Lawton, which is horrific. I'm just so humbled about what's important in life, my role in life, and just being nurturing. And I don't know, I feel like it really changed me. So it taught me a lot about myself, also just how goddamn strong I am and how
Yeah.
powerful we are and how much untapped potential we have. And it was like all like fuel to the fire. And like 2025, I'm just gonna be like
That
boss.
makes me want to cry because literally through all of that hardship, like there's two ways that all could have gone. And to see the positivity in such a hard, negative time period is so beautiful, Dharma. Like you literally were able to see your growth through such trials.
Yeah.
And you really need to pat yourself on the back for that because it's like so beautiful that you were able to like come out stronger through all that. Because not everybody does.
Yeah, I guess they don't. I couldn't. But in the day to day, you're just like I said, I'm just surviving. Like we'll just survive this.
Yeah. But
No,
that's choosing that, which
yeah,
is also strength. It's so you are so strong. And with all of the hardship and trials that you have really been through the last 3 years, you're like seeing the silver lining, and that's so beautiful.
yeah. Thank you. I'm grateful. I don't know how I would have done if I hadn't had France. And I know this is like a blessing and like an opportunity that a lot of people don't have. But I think Sean and I wouldn't be together if it wasn't for France. Like the army, the amount of times it's like screwed us over, like actually saved us this time.
Yeah.
Something so big and so different to pull you out of the muck. So maybe that's like a tip that the listener can take. Like if you're in the muck, find some sort of adventure that is
Yes.
so big that it pulls you out and pulls you into the future. Because we knew about France for like maybe 9 months or something like that.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's the point in life, though. You have to keep looking for the next adventure or you stay stagnant.
we do. Yeah.
Um, I feel like you're getting the heavy questions. I'm getting the easy ones. My question is, who is your dream dinner party guest, living or dead?
Fun.
But you know what? It's my grandmother. If I
Oh,
could have, my great grandmother died in 2006, and I was just going into the army at that time. I was a senior in high school. And if I could have a conversation with her now, with this much knowledge at this age, I would just have so many things I'd want to pick her brain about. Because she lived through the Great Depression, like the stories she could tell, the things that she lived through that I wish I could have that conversation with her now would
yep.
just be, I don't know, it'd pull on my heartstrings.
That's very cool. I think that's the best dinner partner, someone you can like pick the brain. And
Yeah. Someone you can pick their brain and actually learn from, you
yeah,
know?
I love that.
So you get an easy question right now. What's your favorite song right now?
Ah, music, music hasn't been big in my life lately, except the other day I was cleaning and I put like a Latin playlist or whatever. And it really lifted my soul. Like I was like, "Ah, I love music. I need to get back into it. Um, the song that's stuck in my brain is Billie Eilish. Billie, what is
Billie
it?
Eilish, you're right.
Gosh, what is that song? The one time it's not in my head. But one of her songs, I like will go to sleep listening to it. And I just really like Feather, like feather, feather, we should be together. That one. I love that.
Birds of a Feather Stick Together, that one.
And
That's
you
a
know
good one.
that's my organizing mantra. It's like birds of a feather stick together. So anytime I'm organizing, I'm like, what are things that go together? And then that's like my trick to be a good organizer.
That's actually a really good song.
Yeah, I like that.
I
Taylor
see.
Swift is she's my girl. Any Taylor Swift song, I love Taylor Swift song. And
You're an OG Swiftie.
I am an OG
You were a
Swift.
Swiftie before it was cool.
Before it was cool, her like country curly hair era.
Yeah.
So I love her. I love a good Latin workout or like a Latin playlist to keep like current on the Latin music. It's just sometimes a little too sexual. And I'm such a prude. I'm like, oh my gosh. I have to be in the mood for like a little raunchiness, but that song.
I love that. That made me laugh.
Because you know me, you know I'm such a prude, you know.
Yes. That really made me laugh. My next question is, what was the best part of your 2024?
That's
I
yours.
really think, I really think opening my business,
That's what I thought of for you.
seeing the salon come into fruition it still brings tears to my eyes. It's such a dream come true because I literally went into beauty school with so much fear, especially because I had always been on salary coming out of the army that going to beauty school felt so unrealistic. It's so unconventional. You don't have a set salary. And to know that I was able to build a clientele in a place that I knew no one and to have a business thriving at the level that it is, it just makes me so proud of myself. And to know that I did it, I can build from this point is so amazing. And I love my job. I get to touch someone's day in a positive way, like making them feel good about themselves. I genuinely love what I do. And to see my business come to fruition, that was the best part of 2024. It was
I'm
amazing.
so proud of you.
Thank you.
I was there when you started in Paul Mitchell.
Yes.
It was at your house, and you're like, "You look, we got this iPad, and I'm starting soon." And I'm like, "What? Like you're gonna be a hairstylist?" That was ages ago. And then you started
Ages.
working, and then you like were doing hair from your house, and you had just
I
started.
was.
And then you told me about your dream. I remember we were in Florida 2 years ago, I think, and you were talking
Yes.
to me about opening your salon. And I was like, "You got this. You can do it. I'll come. We'll do a video." Like, freaking did it.
And a
And
lot of people don't know, like I quit. Like I did beauty school and then I didn't do hair right away because I was scared. I was scared that I wasn't gonna make it and I was scared that it wasn't gonna be enough income.
you started
Um,
looking into law enforcement, weren't you? Like
Yeah,
as
I was gonna go back into what was comfortable for me, and the army and law enforcement are kind of like hand in hand. That's funny you remember that. Yeah, I was actually gonna go into law enforcement and give it up. And I'm so glad that I stepped out of what is familiar to me. The idea of going into law enforcement or doing anything military related now, I would be like, ha, no, no. But for so long, that was comfortable to me. And I'm glad you said that. It's a true testament to step out of your comfort zone. I'm so glad that I did. It changed
and
my
know
life.
that it's not always linear. Like our journeys are not always linear. Things happen in different ways. And I thought about you yesterday. So I sell beauty products. I'm not licensed as an esthetician, or I want to get licensed as an esthetician, and I want to open my own scalp care salon. And you and I have talked about this, and that day will come. But I'm doing free at home shampooing. And so I
Love.
just started. So I had a friend come yesterday. And let me tell you, we spoke for about 20, 30 minutes before even touching your hair. And this soul needed this self-care. She was
Yes.
so thankful. She's like, "I'm so thankful you had no, you, when you text me to invite me, you had no idea that I like needed this." And I thought of you because I was like, man, like I felt so good. I was like, Christina does this every day.
And I love that feeling. I like leave feeling like I didn't even work. And that's how I know that I'm aligned
I
with
love
what I'm meant to do because it just does not feel like work.
it.
And
Felt so
being able to have a conversation with someone and know that you're making their day better or being the highlight of their day is just so like knowing someone is choosing you to help them have that moment. It's just something I don't take lightly and that I genuinely appreciate, if that makes sense. So
it all made sense yesterday. I was like, this is what Christina.
yeah, it's a feeling. It genuinely is. It's a feeling. So your next question is, what is your favorite self-care treatment that you like to treat yourself to?
Oh my gosh, it has to be scalp care. That's like the new, I mean, I know it's kind of trending now. I've been in the scalp care space for about 2 years, which is crazy to even think about. But it feels so good. Like if you've never gotten a scalp massage, it's better than a body massage. It's
Oh my
better.
God, it is. It is.
It's so tingly. There's just something. I had my eyebrow, I got like an eyebrow mask, which I didn't even know was a thing, and a scalp massage. The other day I rewarded myself. It felt so good. So that's my favorite. And that's what I want to do. I want to have
Love.
a hair salon because it's just when I do it to Sean, he's just like,
It's a really amazing, and our scalp gets neglected. And we'll
yeah.
save that conversation for another day. I could dive into hair care, so could you, like so quick. So quick. But that's a good self-care. I like that, Dharma. I love that. So my question is, what is your biggest pet peeve? Girl, I think negativity. Is that a pet peeve?
Yeah. I
I
think
can't stand negativity. I know we all go there. Like on a human level, we're all judgmental sometimes. And on a human level, we all can slip into a negative headspace. But like my biggest pet peeve is when someone can't get out of it. And I recognize depression is real and I recognize that sometimes we just have bad days. But man, when you are surrounded by negativity, it brings you down in such a way that is so unhealthy. And my biggest pet peeve genuinely is when someone is playing the victim or they're constantly looking for the negative and the positive is like hitting them right in the face. And I'm like, bro, but this could be different, or you could do this, or you could do that. And like they're still fighting you for that negative because they just want you to join them in that negative headspace. And I think that's my biggest pet peeve. It's like, let's look for the silver lining together. Let's like find the light together. Let's do it.
Yep. I love that. I used to be like that. I was like no, like the positive. Like I used to like find the positive in everything so easily. I lost it for a little bit and I feel like I'm getting it back. But
It's
I
such
would
a big
agree.
thing.
That's
And
like,
and I can say like with postpartum depression and with depression, it's so easy. The negatives are all around you, but so are the positives. And it's and like that mantra, hunt the good stuff, man. When I am being a negative Nancy, I will just be like, Christina, what is good? Are you healthy? Yes, focus on that. Are your children healthy? Because that's a whole nother thing. Like not having healthy children, God bless. Like
mhm.
whew, that is a battle I'm so thankful is not mine. And for anyone that is going through that, my heart just hurts for you. Like to have your child have to go through anything, like that's a whole thing. And some people that's their reality, you know?
Yep. I definitely think about that to bring me back to present times sometimes. Just
Yes.
Phoenix is healthy. We could be in a hospital right now.
Yes. Yes.
Praying that my problem was this.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. That perspective. Exactly. Exactly. You have an easy one. What is your favorite feel-good movie?
I love the cinema. I love movies. I love really good TV shows. A movie though, because what I thought of was kind of like a TV show. Maybe
That's your favorite though.
because I feel like it's been a while since I have like a good movie that I love, but I love the show called The Midwife.
Ooh.
Christina, you haven't seen it?
No.
You have Netflix?
Yes.
This is your next show. You want to
Okay.
cry, you want to laugh, you want to fall in love, it's all of it in one. So it's called The Midwife. It takes place, I believe, in like 1950s, the UK, London era. So it has the accent, which I know we love.
Yes.
It's literally about a midwifery and like what midwives would do back in the day, but then it ties it in with like war and like feminism and like
That sounds
motherhood.
so
It's
interesting.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
I'm gonna
I
write that.
also love the show This Is Us.
Oh, I love This Is Us, girl. Every episode I cried.
Yeah.
Every episode I was like, this is so beautifully written.
I love it. So I love that. But Call the Wind, and I haven't seen it in years, but I'm always like, okay, it's about time for me to like start rewatching the show from like every episode.
Call the Midwife.
So
Okay.
good.
My feel-good background show is Gilmore Girls. Like I've never given it up. I love the banter. I like the silliness.
I've been thinking of that one too. And the other one, Downton Abbey.
Yes. And my feel-good movie, I love Crazy Stupid Love. Have you ever seen it?
I don't know that I have, but I'm really
Oh,
bad. Like with movies,
it's
I
got
forget.
Ryan Gosling in it.
Love it.
Yes. Oh,
You know what movie I love? Dear John with Shannon
Dear
Tatum.
John. That's a good one, Dharma. That's a cry movie. That's a good one.
Other one with Gerard Butler. I love P.S. I Love You, I think.
P.S. I Love You is one of my favorites. Stop. That is a favorite. P.S. I Love You. That's a feel good for me, for
Oh,
sure.
we need to do girls' nights with these movies and just invite friends over and you all watch them with some.
They're classics. You know, another one, just real quick. Another one for me. It's such an old movie, but I love it. You've Got Mail.
I haven't seen that one in ages. I was like
It's
12.
It's so good. If you rewatch it as an adult, you're gonna be like, this is so relatable. Because
Yeah,
all the stuff they talk about is still real life, only it's the very beginning of the internet, which is so insane to think. But
that's
anyway,
well, we have a 15-hour or so like air flight coming up. So
I'm gonna write to a list. I'll be like, watch this, watch this, watch this.
right.
So good.
I love it.
Anyway, the final question, and I think we can both answer this and end our episode this way, but what is something that brought you joy this last week?
Okay. Do you have one right away?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Only because it was so silly. I already talked about it actually, but it was so cute. I was getting ready for the day and I had Pandora playing on my TV and Harry Styles is like playing loud. And I don't know, it was some sunflower song. You've heard it. I can't think of it right now.
Yeah.
But Milo just was so cute, girl. He like came in, he starts doing these dance moves with his shoulders, and he comes around the bed to where I am, and he's like, Mama, dance with me. And I tell you, I stopped what I was doing so fast, and I picked up that baby, and we just started dancing. And I do this thing where I like fake dip him, because he's little, so I'm like dipping him, and he's just laughing, and then I like swing him back and forth, and it was just so cute. And so that was something that brought me joy this week. It just, girl, melted my heart.
I know, that's so precious. I had, like, I kind of mentioned it, like I was playing some Latin music and cleaning, and like Phoenix was around, so I was just like dancing. But then last night or the night prior, maybe last night, we're all sleeping in air mattresses on the bed, so it's a little
Yeah, because y'all are moving. You're in transition.
we don't have any furniture, so it's glamping here at home. And I was laying in bed, and Sean started going. It's like a Pinocchio song. I got no strings to hold me down. And then he would freeze and Phoenix would start laughing. And then he's like, got no string. And he would get closer and closer and Phoenix freaked out. And then he's like, my turn. And so me and Sean were in bed and he started coming to us. No strings, hold me down.
Oh, that's so
And the fact
cute.
that it was like him and then me and Sean together, I'm like, we're his parents and that's our son. Like those moments that it kind of like all hits you like, I'm a mom. Like, what? Like this little human is mine, and for the rest of his life, I'm his mom. Like it
And
was,
y'all are like his core.
yeah. And this is like a memory for him. I have some little things that I remember, like core moments, and I'm like, I wonder what he'll remember.
And that you don't know, that song could be
Yeah.
one. I love
So,
that thought. So to wrap it up on that note,
yeah.
I had read or seen, I don't know, it all blurs together, but the premise is the same. Somebody had mentioned a gratitude jar. Have you ever heard it? Heard of it? So their tradition for the new year was that for little moments that brought them joy, like we just mentioned, they write it down and they put it in what's called a gratitude jar. And at the end of the year, they read all of those little moments that brought them joy. And
Yeah.
I don't know, the world is kind of messy, and behind the scenes, so many people do feel heavy that I think reflecting on those little moments that bring you joy and maybe in writing them down and putting them in a gratitude jar help to kind of pull you back to look at all the things that are beautiful in your life. And it's just it was a tradition for the person that I heard it from. It doesn't have to be a tradition for whoever is listening or for us, but it is a really cool idea, right? Just to write down those little moments because next week you might not remember that moment. And
Yeah.
as time goes on, you might not remember that moment. But at the end of the year, to reflect on those little moments that brought you joy, I think wraps up how beautiful that year was for the little things that you forgot to think about, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
I love that because we'll either stick to the big successes or the big failures and losses. I'm actually going to do that. Let me
I
get to
am
France
too.
so I can have a glass jar, but I like that.
And think about all the moments and memories you're gonna have in France. That'll be cool to reflect on. All the firsts that you're gonna do.
I can't wait. I can't wait. This nurturing era. I'm so excited for it.
I'm so excited for you.
Even just like reviving my marriage and having romance again after 10 years together.
Yes. And just, I don't know, for anyone in a slump, like looking for those little things that romanticize your life, they're all around us. Just look for ways to romanticize your life. Write down those moments that brought you joy, be it on your phone, to write down later on a piece of paper and physically put it in a jar or in a journal, but just something that you can reflect on to remember that even though life is messy and it's hard and it's heavy sometimes, it's still beautiful and people still are good and we have good moments. We just
Yeah,
have to remember them. We
I
have to
know.
pay
We're
attention.
not alone. And let's build some community this year.
I like it. Let's build some community this year. All right, girl. Well, I'm so happy we're back.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for listening to this. Stay tuned to the Girlfriend Retreat podcast. Like, we want to be part of your community. Like, hit us up.
100%.
Yes.
And you know what? For our listeners, I had a question that I kind of thought about for you guys because you've heard us do a Q&A. But what are some big lessons that you take away from work and that have helped mold you? Let us know. We'd love to hear.
Yes, absolutely. Yay.
All right. All right,
Awesome.
Dharma, next time.
See you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.